what it is. You're picking up an object and you're dropping it off. Yeah, morning everybody. Probably clicked on this video thinking, hey, that's crazy. How does this guy make that much money in a single day? What's he doing? How's he doing it? Well, that's what we're gonna go over today. Pretty simple, guys. I'm driving. That's what I do. I drive. I go from A to B with something in my truck. Sometimes it's a box. Sometimes it's a trailer. Sometimes it's a box on a trailer. It all depends on the day. But we're gonna cover a few things that I do, how I make my money, how I do what I do, how I got started, how you can get started, how you can make $3,000 or more per day just driving, not even working that hard. I mean, this is my view. Every day I drive. That's all I do. Sit here, listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks, listen to music, and just focus on the old road. Get on down where I need to go, drop off a thing, drive on home, and go to bed. It's called hotshotting. You grab a load that someone needs brought from point A to point B, like right now. You go pick it up, you drive it there, and then just like that, your job's done, and you drive on home. If they need something returned, you drive it back. If they don't, you just go back empty. Easy as that. It's called a hotshot. So last minute delivery, logistics, all that kind of stuff. So that's the job. It's pretty lucrative because obviously companies, big companies, time is money, and it's cheaper to pay me whatever I charge than it is to lose a day of work paying all the people on a certain location or in a certain line of work to just be there doing nothing, waiting for a part to show up. So that's what I do. That's super simple. How do I do it now? Well, basically, multiple ways to do it. You can go out and you can advertise yourself. That's way number one, right? A lot of people can understand that. You go out, you give them business cards, you have conversations, you meet people, and you kind of network yourself in the industry that way. So that's a good option. Way number two is just kind of with association with certain companies. So I'll give you an example. I used to work in the oil field here in Alberta. All I did was just go and talk to the people that were in charge of all the jobs and got contacts. And once you become friends with them and they have their contact, they kind of want to do you a favor and help you out. So if they ever need a job done, they can give me a call and I can help them out that way. So that's way number two. Way number three, digital marketing, which is pretty difficult to do if you don't know what you're doing, but pretty easy to do if you have any understanding of how internet works. So basically, you put an ad on Facebook, or you put an ad on Google, or you make a website and you advertise yourself that way. Whatever the case, you're just putting your name out there for people to click on. So if someone Googles Hotshot Alberta, well, my company shows up and they give me a call, right? A lot of people use Google more than anything else, and if you need something done, you're probably Googling it right now, saying, hey, how do I start this company? How do I make $3,000 a day driving? That's how you found this video, right? Same idea. So that's way number three. My favorite way is way number three because it's passive, right? So a lot of people will think, oh, you have to go and you have to talk to people, right? You have to go out and you have to network and you have to get to know people. And that's the only way you can do it these days is you have to get out and do the legwork. That's completely wrong, okay? All you have to do is learn what people are looking for, how they're looking for it, and exploit that exact method. So like I said, Google. It's the modern day, guys. Google is the way to do it. Everyone's using Google. That's all people want is to Google it, have an answer, make a phone call, and then they're done. It's the most easy way for people to get jobs done. Rather than like going through emails and finding somebody and looking through their business cards and hopefully finding a phone number that's not expired or the company is still going or people still work there. All they're gonna do is Google it. Hotshot, Red Deer to Grand Prairie. Boom. Google it, find the number, give them a call, get the job done. And that's how I get my jobs. So that's what I do, hotshotting. That's how I get a lot of my phone calls, just from that. Now you have to figure out, okay, what does the guy charge? How does he stay competitive? How do you know if you're over market, under market? How do you keep yourself busy in the industry? All that kind of stuff. Well, that's pretty simple. The way I did it, and the way you should do it as well, is just ask for hotshots. Make phone calls yourself. Call hotshot companies and say, hey, if I need this trailer brought from here to here, what's it cost per kilometer or mile or hour, however you want to do your conversions there and your pay structure, and just find a price. you call, let's say, 5 companies, you email 5 companies, get 5 different quotes, and then you use that information, right? And you just build yourself a price. Go above them, go below them, do whatever you want. The trick with any industry is never go too far below, because you do 2 things that's very bad for the industry. 1, you lowball everybody else, which means people see the industry as a cheaper industry, which is not. And then 2, you are also seen as a less professional service. So to give you an example, if I charge, let's say, $100 an hour, and the industry standard is $200 an hour, I do 2 things. I make everyone charging $200 seem like they're ripping people off, and then I make my $100 an hour service look incompetent compared to theirs because I'm charging half the price. How do I do that, right? So you have to find that happy medium where you're charging a little less to, make sure you keep business and people like what you're doing for the price you're doing it. But you have to charge enough where you're actually making sure it's worth your time, right? Running a truck isn't cheap these days. Diesel in Canada, you're looking at $1.70 per liter. In the States, what's that equal? That's like $7.50 a gallon. So diesel ain't cheap. Tires aren't cheap. It's $450 per tire in Canada. Brakes aren't cheap. It's $400 per corner for brakes. All these things add up. Oil changes. Oil's not cheap anymore. So you have to keep in mind all these expenses that go along with it. Put yourself an expense sheet, right? Get your expense versus what you're charging and make sure that you are profiting enough to keep you in business, right? So that's how I got my pricing structure. Called a bunch of people, figured out the market value, and then kind of put myself just below market value, so I'm making a deal, but yet still so close to it where no one's seen as, every other company that gets calls, they're not charging too much. They're just charging a little bit more, right? That's how that works. So how do I make $3,000 a day? Probably one of the biggest questions. How does a guy just start a company and make $3,000 a day, right? Well, it's this easy. A lot of hotshots are hotshots because they're for longer distances, right? So to give you an example, if you had to bring a bag of bolts from one part of the city to the next part of the city, there's a good chance you're not calling a hotshot. You're just going to drive that bag of bolts over to the other side of the city. Well, let's say you need to bring that bag of bolts across the province or across a couple of states if you're in the United States. When that becomes an issue, you can't just leave work and you can't just say, I'm going to drive these bolts somewhere. Now you got to find somebody to do it. Your employees might not want to do it because they're only working 8-hour days. Okay, Hotshot kicks in. Now they Google me and say, hey, I need this thing brought 10 hours over this way. I say, all right, easy enough. I do the job. I drive 10 hours there. I drive 10 hours back. $150 an hour round trip. 20-hour drive. That's $3,000 just like that. Done. All I did was drive bolts. Today's job, to give you an example, we're driving 192 bolts from Blackfalds, Alberta into Saskatchewan and driving back home. And that's the entire job. Go to Blackfalds, picked up the bolts today, had them loaded on by a forklift. I'm going to get to the place in Saskatchewan, going to unload them. We just actually entered Saskatchewan about 10 minutes ago. And when I unload them, I'm going to turn around, get on back home, and then write the invoice tonight. And that's it. That's the job. So, super, super simple. So now you've seen an idea of what I do, how I got started doing it. Now, how can you get started doing it, right? That's a huge question you're going to have. How can you start this own process of your own? And I'll tell you, it's the simplest thing in the world, guys. You go and you buy a truck and you buy a trailer, or even just a truck to start out, and you just limit yourself a little bit. So you buy your pickup truck, right? Get a half-ton pickup truck, enough that can haul some stuff in the box, nothing crazy, but even if you have a half-ton pickup truck, okay, and you register and you license it meeting the requirements of hauling loads. So basically, you just have to have load insurance, right? So you go to your insurance company and you say, hey, I'm going to be hauling loads for third-party companies as a contractor, and I need insurance, and they'll add it to your policy. So now you've got a pickup truck and you've got insurance on it that will cover you for hauling loads. Like today, this load might be valued at $10,000. It's fully covered. There's no liability to Ruben. If something happens to it, I got insurance, right? So that's necessary. Your pickup truck and you got your insurance. Okay, depending what state or province or country you're in general, there's different laws regarding weights, and you have to register your vehicle for certain weights, and you have to keep under those weights, and you have to pay more or less regarding You have to get logging devices depending what you're doing and how heavy you are. So if you need a logging device like I have, all you do is you go to a logging device company and say, hey, I need a logging device. Boom, it's like Netflix. You buy it and you pay monthly, guys. They install it for you, you pay them, and every month you pay them and you log on your phone. And these days it's that simple. It's all digital. Everything's digital. I log on, I press start driving, I put any logs if I need to fuel, if I need to get coffee, if I need to go to the washroom, whatever it is, put it in there, load checks, make remarks on it, unload, put it in there, go back home. That's a logbook. It's not intimidating, it's super simple. And whatever certifications you need, that's province to province, state to state, just get those figured out. So now you got your pickup truck, you got everything figured out. All you have to do is start advertising. Just get your name out there. So how did I do it? I started a website. I have lots of search engine optimization that goes on in my website. So basically what that does is it ranks me. So if someone Googles Hotshot, I'm higher on Google, right? And that's how that works. So I have lots and I pay lots of money to get these things done. Now, if you don't have lots of money to pay to do that, that's totally fine. You go on Facebook and you buy ad space on Facebook, and the algorithms on Facebook give you the people that you want, and they show them exactly your ads. So you're not showing your ads to 1,000 random people. Facebook decides the certain groups that will see your ads, and it usually contours it to only show your ads to the people that actually want your services in general. So it just spikes. The amount of calls you'll get from that, guys, is enormous. That's the best way to do it. Ad space on Facebook, buy ad space, get your ads out there. That's the ultimate way to advertise yourself these days. So now you have your truck, you got everything done, right? You have your ad space. Now you're getting phone calls, okay? So these phone calls you're getting are from huge companies with huge jobs on the go, and you may not have any idea what you're doing. If it's an oil field company and you've never worked for oil field, you'll just be completely in the dark, not knowing what's going on, not knowing how to do the job, anything. The best thing that you can do is act like you know what you're doing. So for me, I know what I'm doing, and I've done it for years, and I've driven lots. I've done lots of Hotshots. Even before I started my company, I was doing Hotshots just for other companies. So I'm very well equipped with the knowledge and the equipment that I need to do every job professionally. Now, if you don't have all the equipment and the knowledge, use Google. Google it, guys. There's so many people doing Hotshots. Watch my videos, right? All my videos out there will show you little tips and tricks throughout every single load that I do to show you how to do it more efficiently and better, right? To show you kind of what you need, right? So just watch videos, get equipped, learn online. You don't have to work 10 years in oil and gas to understand oil and gas, guys. It's super simple. There's big companies with lots of money, with big picture projects going on, and they need things done yesterday. And if you can be the guy that helps them, that's all they care about. They don't care how long you're in the industry for. They don't care what your knowledge is. They just know that if you can help them, you're an asset, right? So just help people. Your entire job with hotshotting is making their life as easy as possible, not asking them stupid questions, just getting the job done, okay? If you have questions, Google it. Use all your resources you can. That's the best way to possibly deal with any question someone asks you. Google it and figure it out on your own, and you will be okay. At the end of the day, guys, you have to break it down to what it is. You're picking up an object and you're dropping it off. There's not much to it. There's no rocket science to Hotshot. It's the easiest way to make money in the history of jobs. If you want to start contracting yourself out, Hotshotting is the easiest and the most lucrative way to make lots of money very fast. Okay, so now you might be thinking to yourself, this is all fine and dandy, but what if oil and gas goes down? Or what if construction's slow? What if big companies are no longer doing very big projects and they're taking a little break for a couple of years? Well, that's a big concern for a lot of people, and it's a valid concern. And the easiest way to handle that is you diverse yourself. So, to give you an example, don't work for oil and gas at every job. Get yourself out there for automotive, construction, oil and gas, everything. Today I'm doing a job for Eagle Builders. It's a company that just makes buildings. Like they make lots of buildings around, and they're a huge contractor for that, and they need help. So there's always going to be housing. There's always going to be buildings. I am dipping into the market that is always available, right? If I just do oil and gas and that gets slow, well then I get slow, and that's not good. That's not what you want to happen. Automobiles, if you can contract yourself out to towing companies, you just call up AMA or CAA or whoever your local towing company is, and you get on their vendor list of who to use, then they'll just simply give you a call if all their other facilities are used up, and you can work for them, right? So there's lots of options to get out there. You can go on load boards. In the States, it's super common to get on load boards. In Canada, you can do it as well. Basically, you go on sites that have thousands and thousands of things that people want brought from A to B, and they don't want to pay hotshot rates they put on the site. And this way, you can pick multiple loads going from the same spot to the same location and give multiple people a good deal that are way less than hotshot rates, and yet you can still make your own hotshot rate. Give me an example. If there's a couch in Calgary, a motorcycle in Calgary, a bunch of paving stones in Calgary, a load of lumber in Calgary, that's 4 items from 4 different people. So let's say you got those items, right? And you need to make $2 a kilometer to make the money that you want. You just divide it. So you got $2, you got 4 items, 50 cents per kilometer per item, and you bid on each item. When you win that bid, you pick up 5 items or 4 items or 3 items, however many you need, and then you go into your job and you're paid the same rate, but you're giving lots of people a very good deal. And so that's how load boards work. Pretty simple. They're very common. They keep lots of people employed, lots of people busy. When you get into big picture stuff, like when you're hauling a tractor trailer or a semi truck, for those of you not familiar, that's what tractor trailer means. Well, then you just do big jobs, and they pay a lot more per kilometer. You do the same thing. Many companies are grown just on load boards, and that's all they do. And then they just grow into the next truck and the next truck and the next truck, and before you know it, there's a fleet of 12 trucks just doing load boards 24/7, and that's their job, and they make millions of dollars a year doing it. So that's also, if it ever gets slow doing hot shots, just make your own hot shots. It's the beauty of the industry. You're as busy as you want to be. You make as much money as you want to make. If it gets slow, you just move the niche. Instead of oil, it's construction. Instead of construction, it's auto. Instead of auto, it's something else. You always move to what people need, and they always need it. Someone always needs something moved today. You have to figure out how to show them that you can do it that day. That's the goal. You get your name out there. So super simple. That's the easiest way to do it, guys. You can make $3,000 or more every single day for doing nothing. And then when you build your company, you get lazy, you say, hey, I don't want to drive anymore. Well, what do? You still want to make money. You don't want to drive your whole life. How do you make money doing that? You hire a guy. All you do is you pay a guy to do what you're doing, but because you've done the legwork and you've done all the hard work of getting your clients, getting these connections, doing years and years of actual hard work, now you take a commission on it. So now you hire a guy to drive for you that has done none of this and doesn't want to do any of this. That's why they're an employee, because they don't have the drive to start up a company. And then you just pay them a fair rate to drive for you, so you still make money, you cover all your expenses, and you just pay some random guy that you've hired to do the work for you, right? It could be a friend, it could be family, it could just be some guy off the street that's sending you a resume. It doesn't matter. It'll all do the same thing. You have a guy driving for you, and you take a commission because you did the work, and you got to get paid for your hard work. And now you just grow that. Once you're done driving, hire an employee. Make him pay for himself, hire the next employee. Make him pay for himself, hire the next employee. And then you'll have your own fleet. You'll be making $3,000 a day for doing nothing at that point. You just pick up the phone, right? Easiest thing in the world. Pick up the phone, dispatch a guy, get a check. That's all you're doing. You can work from anywhere in the world you want. You pick up the phone, you dispatch a guy, you get a check. So ultimately, guys, like, there's no denying it that the industry of hot shots is the industry to be in. You need to do it. You need to watch more of my videos. I'll have more coming out here to show you exactly what jobs are what, how to do them, tips and tricks along the way. Just join me for the ride, guys. It's going to be the easiest thing you can do. Buy a truck or use your truck, create an ad, get exposed, start doing hot shots. It's ultimately the #1 way to make money. If you need a hot shot done, give me a call. All my information's on my website. That'll be linked in the description. Everything you need is there. But as far as it goes, guys, it's unreal. It's the best possible industry. Get into it. If you got questions, leave them in the comments. If you got remarks, leave them in the comments. Leave a like on this video. Get it out there. Get more people knowing how to make money the fastest way possible. If you're sick of working at Walmart or any job you have, take this video, use this video, get started, start driving, start making money. It'll be the best decision you ever made. I guarantee it. So that'll be it for this one, guys. Quick video. Hopefully you got a lot of information from it. Again, stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, like the video. We got lots more coming. There'll be lots more loads in the future, and you'll be excited every single video, I guarantee it. It'll show you how easy this job really is. It'll show you how easy it is to get into it, how easy the jobs are, how fun it can be. You're always driving different roads. You're always seeing different parts of the country. I mean, guys, it's the industry to be in. I guarantee it. So stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you on the next one.